Coming up on this week's news, an industry row has erupted over the need for an MCB to protect a surge protection device in a consumer unit. New requirements for electrical checks are on the horizon for social housing. And how would you like to work at home on 200 grand a year? The NICEIC is looking for a chief executive. Welcome to Electrical News Weekly in association with Sungrow, making every watt count, literally, since 1997. Whether you're listening in the van, on-site or down at the wholesale counter, I'm Joe Robinson and I've been through the best of the electrical industry news to save you the trouble. This week we're being powered by Schneider with their top quality SPDs in both the KQ and Actinine ranges with inbuilt protection so they connect directly to the buzzbar, saving you space, time and money. And if you think you've spotted the two words I've been challenged to slip into this week's show, comment with them below for the chance to win a prize. And while you're there, click the links in the show notes to check out what our sponsors offer. A row has erupted in the trade over the use of miniature circuit breakers with surge protection devices in consumer units. The trade is divided over whether units with built-in busbar SPDs and no MCB conform to the wiring regulations. It hinges on whether an absence of an MCB with the surge protection device is a departure from the regs. NICEIC's technical commercial manager Steve Humphreys told LinkedIn this week that the Energy Networks Association has confirmed that the DNO cutout fuse can't be used for overcurrent protection for the consumer side. However, big brands such as Hager say that the service cutout fuse plays a critical role in providing protection to the assembly arrangement. The company says that consumer units complying with the standard BSEN 61439-3 have a conditional short circuit rating of 16 kA. This means they're designed to withstand fault currents up to 16 kA when installed with a suitable upstream protective device such as the supplier's cutout fuse. This rating is conditional because the consumer unit and protective devices alone cannot clear such high currents. Other brands such as Linian have developed SPDs with built-in fault protection which they say don't need an additional MCB. Meanwhile, some other manufacturers say their surge protection devices do require one. But the problem for installers is that these can take up to 2 or even 3 valuable module spaces in a consumer unit. Regulation 534.4.5.1 says that SPD installations shall be protected against overcurrent. It goes on to say that this protection can be internal to the SPD according to the manufacturer's instructions. Electrical Safety First, the NICEIC-backed consumer advisory body, says that the Type 2 overcurrent protection can be omitted in domestic properties if 2 conditions apply. First, that the SPD conforms to BSEN 61643-11, and second, that the manufacturer's instructions say it's not necessary and it specifies the Type 1 overcurrent protection characteristics. The latter is typically that the cutout fuse has a rating not exceeding 125 amps. Will Winter of circuit protection specialist Navitas argues that manufacturer's instructions can never supersede the regs. He says BS 7671 is a minimum requirement. If the manufacturer's instructions are less than that, then they don't supersede them. Meanwhile, trade body NICEIC says it will get out guidance on the issue urgently. We will keep you posted of developments in the guidance when we get it. In other news, there are new requirements on the horizon for electrical safety checks in social housing. The UK's social housing watchdog is proposing to add the checks to what's termed its tenant satisfaction measures. In a consultation document, it says that the proposed checks aim to provide a baseline level of assurance to occupants of social properties. The move to add an electrical safety check comes after the government's commitment in June to make it mandatory for social landlords to carry out EICRs in homes at least every 5 years. This followed a response to the Grenfell Tower inquiry, which recommended frequent mandatory electrical testing in social housing. The regulator has faced questions previously over why a tenant satisfaction measure on electrical safety was not originally included in its consumer standards. The regulator said it expects the requirement on electrical safety to be in place to cover the 2026 to 27 reporting year for large landlords, with smaller landlords to follow. It will cover rental and shared ownership homes owned by registered providers. The consultation runs until the 3rd of March. And maybe those rental properties would benefit from a smoke alarm update. Check out these top-of-the-line models. They'll keep watch over you and your loved ones even when you can't. It's this week's fire protection sponsor, Fire Angel. With the new year approaching, many people's minds turn to the prospect of a new job, a fresh start in a well-paid position, preferably with the option of working at home regularly. If that's you, well, we might have just the perfect vacancy. The NIC is advertising for a new Chief Executive Officer. The salary? A staggering £200,000 a year plus benefits. You can work at home on some days, but you'll be expected to have a regular visible presence at the organisation's office in Dunstable. It says it's looking for someone who will put customers first, someone who can inspire through storytelling, someone who operates with pace and courage, someone who can communicate with authenticity. You'll also need to align with what the NICEIC calls its purpose-driven values. And finally, you'll need to engage the stakeholders with varied perspectives and aspirations. And you won't need any electrical qualifications. If all that sounds like a bit of you, then you have until Monday the 5th of January to get your CV in. I've put the link to the application in the show notes, and hopefully the successful applicant will share a reaction video so we can see them become a prancer with all the joy that they'll be feeling. Maybe the winning applicant will be as smart as the Direct Easy lighting control system from Ledvance. When your lights are this clever, you'll swear they've got a degree in illumination. In product news, AlphaESS UK has become a certified partner of Octopus Energy. This means its full range of residential battery storage systems is integrated with intelligent tariffs from Octopus. Its kit is now compatible with Octopus Energy's intelligent flux tariff, and it also has built-in functionality that means it can work with other dynamic tariffs, including Intelligent Go, Octopus Go, and Cozy Octopus. AlphaESS says the deal represents a great commercial opportunity for installers to get into battery packs. For householders, the combination of equipment and the Octopus apps will be compelling. It's expected to boost sales of AlphaESS's acclaimed Smile G3 battery and inverter combination. This residential product comes in a range of ratings. There's single-phase options ranging from 3.6, 5 and 8 kilowatts, and three-phase inverters come in 10 and 20 kilowatts. All systems are on the ENA register and are fully compliant with G98, G99 and G100. The modular design means you can install it building block style with plug-and-play connections to make it super easy. The inverters have the ability to PV oversize up to 200%, allowing you to send any excess to the batteries, while the inverter is sending the full kilowatt capability of the inverter to the property. Another key feature is battery bypass functionality. If you have multiple batteries installed and one fails, the system will bypass the faulty unit and continue to operate whilst flagging an error, so no system downtime occurs. The G3 series is also equipped for full off-grid capabilities that allow for a generator for dual power supply options. The AlphaESS G3 system is exceptionally priced for its capabilities. The Smile G3 is rated at IP65, so you can install it in indoor and semi-outdoor locations according to the guidance. Linian has unveiled a special clip for cable trays. It can be used with any brand of tray and doesn't need any tensioning tools or steel cable ties. You simply lock it in by hand. Linian says its customers are reporting installation times that are 90% faster than other methods. The clips are BS 7671 compliant and come in 5 sizes ranging from 50mm for light duty cable trays to 225 for medium and heavy trays. The pull-out force ranges from 20 kg to 200 kg depending on size. The clips are made in the UK with fire-rated steel. They're also non-corrosive and weather resistant. All of this makes them perfect for preventing the premature collapse of cables in the event of a fire. Now, how about a light switch which has every claim to be the most beautiful and intelligent that's ever been produced? The Tuke Tap replaces any standard light switch and turns it into a complete home automation platform. It features a crisp, high-resolution OLED touchscreen measuring 3 inches by 3 inches and can be installed in minutes. What's more, Tap's patented no-neutral technology means that it can be retrofitted into literally any property. But Tap is so much more than just a light switch. It's packed with 9 integral sensors which provide a range of additional smart functionality. That includes real-time energy pricing insight as well as temperature and humidity monitoring. With a time of use tariff, it guides users on when to switch their appliance use to cheaper times of the day so that they can save on their bills. It's also Matter compatible, so it can talk to other devices in the home such as Shelly smart plugs. It's not a static product either. Tap benefits from regular over-the-air updates, keeping it future-proofed. Already, Tuke has announced that it will add voice-controlled personal assistants powered by Google Gemini in 2026, and there's a lot of other functionality planned. It's intended for installers who need a compact interface point for zone lighting, scene control and small load automation without deploying a full control panel. At a fraction of the cost of some of the other smart lighting systems and super easy to install, it fills a gap between traditional smart systems and standard lighting for those customers looking to make the move to smart technology, but without a complete rewire or breaking the bank. You commission it using an app or web browser. Now, it's that great moment where we get to celebrate the sterling work being done by the next generation. Our Learner of the Week slot is brought to you by Taco, German manufacturer of premium actuators, sensors and energy meters for smart homes. And our Learner this week is Jay Bamford of Burgess Electrical Services in Aylesbury. Jay has only gone and won the ECN Apprentice of the Year. Many congratulations. Jay is incredibly positive, both as an individual and as part of the Burgess team. We're told that Jay often arrives at work ready to challenge work colleagues on their knowledge of the wiring regulations. He's a strong advocate for completing the eFIXX CPDs. In fact, he has only a small section of his portfolio left to complete along with his endpoint assessment, and he expects to be fully qualified in early 2026. We look forward to seeing more of Jay in the trade in the coming years, and congratulations for being the eFIXX Learner of the Week in association with Taco. Now, if you're looking to break into the industry, we can help. eFIXX has set up a dedicated LinkedIn group for people training in electrical installation. It's aimed at apprentices, full-time learners and adults training in the evening. So to prove you're as wily as a vixen, just log on to LinkedIn and search for UK Electrician Apprenticeships and Career Support. I'll also put a link in the show notes. And now, to the lighter side of the electrical news. Yes, it's time for a tea break with Quickwire and its range of incredibly rapid electrical connectors. A Kent electrician coming up to retirement has just won £500,000 on the National Lottery. The Spark, who isn't being named, says he's going to use the money to pursue his passion of travel. He even jokes that he might be able to turn left on entering the plane. He matched all 5 main numbers in the Thunderball draw. Enjoy seeing more of the world and don't forget your mates back in the trade. That's the lighter side of the news in our tea break with Quickwire and their range of incredibly rapid electrical connectors. Click the link in the description to check them out for yourself. And now, over to the John Motson of the electrical industry. It's Joe 2.0 with the latest roundup from our Fantasy Football League.
Game week 17 is nearly wrapped up in the eFIXX Fantasy League, with just Fulham vs Nottingham Forest left to play tonight. It's been a huge week for many managers. In fact, 13 people scored over 100 points. Unfortunately, I was not one of them. My team let me down badly. So over the holiday period, I'll be taking some time for quiet reflection, soul searching, and probably staring at my team, wondering how it all went so wrong. Anyway, let's get into the action. We kick things off with the Marshall Toughlex Team of the Week, which goes to Behind Emery Lines, Arwell Hall. Arwell absolutely smashed it out the park with a massive 121 points, which I believe is the highest score of the season so far in the eFIXX Fantasy League. That haul puts him around 3,000th in the world for the game week. Outrageous stuff. Triple captaining Haaland and stacking the midfield paid off beautifully. Well played, Arwell. Save some points for the rest of us. Next up, the Fusebox Flyer of the Week goes to Tottenham Gupspurs, managed by Andrew Guppy. Andrew flew up the rankings thanks to a perfectly timed bench boost, with Morgan Rogers chipping in from the bench. That move alone helped shoot him up 50 places in the league table, and he's still got a couple of players left to go. That's the kind of week that makes you feel very smug every time you open the app. Great work, Andrew. Momentum very much on your side. Now for the EV Blocks Defence of the Week, which goes to Team Franks' Billy Franks. It wasn't a huge week for defences again, with most managers relying on midfield points, but Billy ground out a solid 29 points at the back. The standout was Kelleher from Brentford, who bagged 13 points thanks to a penalty save. That's the kind of return you never expect, but absolutely love when it lands. Solid, reliable, and doing the job quietly. Finally, it's time for the TIS Transfer of the Week. This week I'm going for a slightly more obvious pick, Ekitike. With Isak injured, his minutes look pretty much guaranteed, and Liverpool have a great run coming up with Wolves and then Leeds over the holiday period. If he gets the service, there could be some serious points on offer. Sometimes the popular transfer is popular for a reason. That's the highlights from game week 17 in the eFIXX Fantasy League. Huge thanks to our brand partners for backing the fun every week, and don't forget to enter the draw for the NICEIC Tool of the Week. The link's in the description. As we head into the festive period, I hope everyone enjoys the holidays, and remember, all chips reset in game week 19. So if you haven't used yours yet, time is running out. Until next time, may your captains actually play, may your benches be stacked, and may Leeds continue to disappoint Rick.
Thanks very much for that, Joe. Now, just before we get to your favourite bit of the show where I reveal last week's challenge words and winners, we want to thank our premium partners. We couldn't make the news without you. First up, they're like having an Italian star striker in your Premiership team. It's Luden Palazzoli. And with over 5,000 product lines from heating, lighting, ventilation to wiring accessories, if you need it, they've got it. It's electrical distributor CED Group. And the best thing to come out of Yorkshire since stainless steel, the home of EV Ultra and other groundbreaking and quality products, it's Doncaster Cables. Click the links in the show notes to find out more about these great brands. If you think you know the words that I've smuggled into this week's show, pop your guess into the comments. We'll take all the correct guesses and select one at random to be the winner of an eFIXX goodie bag prize. Answers submitted after about lunchtime on the Thursday after release will not be entered into the draw. Now let's reveal the winners of last week's challenge word competition. Last week's words were upcycling and teabag, and we can confirm that absolutely nobody got them both. It seems that the mention of a hockey puck was too much of a misdirect, and so we've saved on the cost of postage this week. Nice. Thanks for listening to this episode of Electrical News Weekly in association with Sungrow, making every watt count literally since 1997. And as this is the last episode of 2025, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone involved in making the news. Ray Maloney for his excellent words and even more excellent patience. Joe 2.0 for all the backroom stuff, thumbnails and stepping up to present when I was away. Gordon for ferreting out some great stories and relentlessly ribbing me about caravans. Just can't get enough of that. Jen for keeping me in line with all the admin stuff that I hate doing. And Gary for his tireless promotion on social media. A massive heartfelt thanks to all the brands who've either sponsored or advertised on the news. You've helped us keep the lights on for another year. But most of all, thanks to everyone who's watched, listened, commented or liked this content over the last 12 months. We don't often shout about numbers, but the news has had over 2.2 million views this year on YouTube alone, and if you all didn't engage, we couldn't make the content. So truly, from the bottom of our hearts here at eFIXX, thank you for getting involved, and we'll be back in the new year with all the latest headlines, product news, and the usual fun. I really hope you have a bit of a break and enjoy some downtime with your loved ones over the next couple of weeks. And if you're interested to see whether I'm bearded or not upon my return, then make sure you subscribe to receive the next update. Thanks for listening, and until next time, have a great break. Stay safe out there, and remember, there's no such thing as a torque calibrated arm.